Jeremiah 24:3. Yahweh, are you guys there? Yes. Yahweh said to me, "What do you see, Jeremiah?" "Figs," I answered. "The good ones, excellent. The bad ones, very bad. So bad as to be uneatable." Then the word of Yahweh was addressed to me. "Yahweh, the God of Israel, says this, as these figs are good, so I mean to concern myself with the welfare of the exiles of Judah, whom I have sent from this place to the land of the Chaldeans. My eyes will watch over them for their good, to bring them back to this land, to build them up and not to break them down, to plant them and not to tear them up. I will give them a heart to acknowledge that I am Yahweh. They shall be my people, and I will be their God." This is the theme. They shall be my people, and I will be their God. For they will return to me with all their heart. Not part of their heart, all of their heart. As for the bad figs, the figs so bad that they're unedible, yes, Yahweh says this. That is how I will treat Zedekiah, king of Judah, his noble and his remnants. Okay, we're going to go forward to 27:3. Well, actually, at the beginning of 2. Yahweh said this, "Make yourself ropes and a yoke and put it on your neck." I mean, Yahweh gave pretty specific instructions. Take rope and wood and make a yoke and put it on yourself. Then send the words out. And then we go down to 8, 27:8. Any nation or kingdom that will not submit to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and will not bow its neck to the yoke of the king of Babylon, I shall punish with sword, famine, plague.
We missed one.
It is Yahweh who speaks, until I have delivered it into his power. Okay, on 27:11. The nation, however, that bends its neck to the yoke of the king of Babylon and submits to him, I shall leave in peace on its own soil. It is Yahweh who speaks. I will let you farm it and let you stay here. So he made promises if they would submit to Babylon.
What submitting to Babylon?
Meaning, don't fight.
Is it? What is it there to learn from that?
It's to learn to follow the obedience of God. I mean, yeah. Do you have an answer?
Well, there's a verse.
There's a scripture. It is written in Acts, and I'm not going to quote where, but it's in Acts, that God will often take people from their homeland and put them someplace else so that they will call out to his name. And that is partially this purpose. He takes them from everything that's familiar so that all they have is to look forward to finding him again.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, hang on. Here. Do you want to say something?
Well, submission is a theme in the Bible that most people don't like. We like to argue, we like to fight, we like to be right, we like to have opinions. The scriptures, for example, in Ephesians, is submit to one another in love. Wives, submit to your husbands. And at that point, all the women go on a march and walk out of the room because I've taught it. So, but it's a spirit, it's an attitude, it's an adjustment of your character. You don't want to become something evil because you're dealing with evil. So your character is on the basis of how you treat your neighbor, not on the basis of how your neighbor treats you. So how will you treat the Babylonians is the question. Jesus made everyone personally responsible for how they treat their neighbor. And stop whining about how your neighbor treats you.
Sorry for getting up here so much, but the other thing is, in this and a few other cases, it's also important to see that when God punishes someone for something, they like to wiggle out of it. And speaking of submission, that's an even harder pill to swallow when we know that we're being disciplined, like a child with their parents. We know we're being disciplined. Israel's being disciplined here. And God's kind of also saying, you made your bed, now you're going to lie in it, but you're not going to lie in it for as long, and it's not going to be as bad if you lie in it. And they want to justify their cause and not take their just desserts, so it be.
I was just
Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to say that in 1970 I was taken from Texas, where I had lived for 30 years, only place I'd ever lived, and all my family was there, and took me, brought me here in the matter of 2 weeks, and I know now that the reason was to get me alone. And I thank him for it.
So you can relate to this.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
I've been to Iraq and I've been to Babylon. And, you know, they rebuilt a lot of the ruins of ancient Babylon on the archaeological site. But what they were going to experience when they went to Babylon was this incredible beauty, this incredible sophistication of society that the Jews themselves did not have. So they learned many skills, many abilities, many new things, and it was a great opportunity to develop their faith and to develop their abilities. It would be like going to the university, only you're going in Russia instead of in America. You're going to a different country to a university to learn, to grow.
Hold on, Trema.
Is there any other country but Texas?
Oh, yes.
Okay, we're going to 29:7. Work for the good of the country to which I have exiled you. Pray to Yahweh on its behalf. When people are in exile, or maybe they're a prisoner of war, do they pray for the country they're in on its behalf?
No, they want to pray for the destruction of their enemies. Jesus was adamant, you will love your enemies, and you will pray for them who persecute you.